If you've attended any St. Mary's athletic events in the past 2 decades, chances are you've seen Donnie Neto, or you might know him best for his role as the co-host of the Cardinals Nest here on HBC-TV 25. Neto's held in high regard by the St. Mary's community, and he does award-winning work while dealing with limitations hard to imagine.
I'm starting my 18th year.
In his time at St. Mary's,
I've been here a long time.
Sports Information Director Donnie Neto has seen a lot.
Well, absolute highlight was the 2000 National Championship, no question about it.
Neto was a 1985 graduate of then St. Mary's College, and there's no hiding the fact that he bleeds Cardinal red.
Dee and I met here freshman year, and you know, by junior year we were dating, and senior year we were married. And you talk about families, we are just a few of, there's 11 people in our immediate family that are alums of St. Mary's.
Most recently, Donnie and Dee Dee's 2 children, Andy and Joey.
Both of my kids couldn't wait to come to St. Mary's to go to school. Both of them had dreams of playing college hockey. Both of them got to live out that dream.
Along with his literal St. Mary's family, developed his work family.
Anybody on this campus would do anything for Donnie at any time.
It's a mutual feeling. Just ask his longtime friend and former roommate, Cardinal hockey coach Bill Moore.
There isn't anything Donnie won't do for you, and you can go in there and tell him you need something in the next day or so, and an hour later he'll have it done for you. He'll give you the shirt off his back.
With his passion for St. Mary's and its people, it's no wonder Neto puts in countless hours.
Donnie is never not working. Whether teams are away or teams are home, he is always working. He just is tireless in what he does.
His high quality of work is not only appreciated by St. Mary's and its fans, but by his peers as well. 2 years ago, Neto was unanimously selected as the winner of the Mike Augustin Award for outstanding contributions to MIAC athletics.
There's nobody in this league that can do what he does. There's no better person, you know, in the conference at this school, you know, in NCAA sports. He's a great guy for sure.
Neto has seen a lot in his time at St. Mary's, but he's seen it with a perspective different than most.
Till 5 years ago, I didn't tell people. It wasn't, it was my demon to, you know, to deal with, and I didn't want to, you know, burden other people with it. Of course, my wife has known, you know, since we've been together, but besides her and Andy and Joey, really, I didn't let other people into this little secret of mine.
Dave will have part 2 tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks for joining us.
Yesterday, we introduced you to St. Mary's Sports Information Director Donnie Neto. He's one of the most well-liked members of the administration, always upbeat and thrilled to do his job. Neto is highly regarded as one of the top SIDs in the conference, which is impressive in itself, but even more impressive considering what he's battling.
That probably is the biggest life-changing thing that's happened to me since the diagnosis.
We all have things in life that we take for granted, whether it's playing your favorite sport or even driving a car.
How was your day?
It was great. How about yours?
It was good too.
Every day, Dee Dee Neto drives her husband Donnie to and from work.
It'll be 2 years in August since I've gotten behind the wheel of a car. I can't run to the store. I can't, you know, just hop in the car and go buy Christmas presents at Target because I've got to have somebody take me there.
Neto was 10 years old when he first realized something was wrong.
I happened to be out jogging with my dad. It was dusk, and we're out jogging, and I kind of turned to talk to him, and I literally ran into a parked car. My dad kind of looked at me and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I didn't see it." And you know, right away we went in and you know, had my eyes checked at the University of Minnesota, and they diagnosed me with choroideremia.
So it's a genetically passed on disease that usually the mothers are carriers and the male offspring would be the people who would struggle with the vision loss.
In your time in this field, have you dealt with this disease at all?
Not in a real live person, you know, it's the in the textbooks sort of thing.
So I guess that really speaks to how
rare it is.
To give you a better idea of what the disease does, I'm out here on the St. Mary's baseball field. The view you're looking at right now is what the average person could see if they were standing on home plate. But for someone suffering from choroideremia, it's a much different perspective. Over time, the disease causes vision loss, starting with the periphery, not only on the left and the right, but on the top and the bottom as well. Say the average person could see up to 90 degrees out of the corner of each eye. Neto estimates he can see about 65 degrees.
Eventually it'll be to where all I'm going to be able to see, if I see anything, is going to be a little pinhole right straight ahead of me. The best way for somebody like you to kind of experience it would be to put blinders on as you know, like the horses do when they're running in the Kentucky Derby, so they can only see straight ahead. That's pretty much the way it is for me.
Up until about 4 years ago, Neto didn't talk about his disease, but all that changed as the symptoms accelerated.
The biggest reason I didn't tell people, I just didn't want their pity. I don't want people feeling sorry for me. This is something I've known I've had, and I've always said, you know, when I talked about it was someday I could be blind. Well, the problem is someday is getting a lot closer than it was, you know, 20 years ago. So I need help. I still don't like that. That bothers me a lot. I have to rely on other people, but I'm also to the point that I'm not stubborn enough that I'm not going to accept help when I know I need it.
I was probably one of the last to know, because Donnie, you know, he didn't want to, you know, bring it up. He wanted to go about and do his job and continue to do it well. And, you know, one year I went with the men's baseball team down to Arizona. I can remember we walked into a restaurant together, and Donnie reached up and grabbed the back of my shirt. And I wasn't sure what that was all about. And, you know, that's when he told me that, you know, when he changed from, you know, light to dark and things like that, he really struggled getting into the restaurant that we were going into. So that was really the first time, and so that's been only about 4 years ago now. Up until then, I really didn't have any idea.
But for Neto, it's not about what he can't do.
I wish I could drive. I wish I could play golf. I wish I could coach.
It's about taking in the things he can do and using the vision he has while it's still there. Dave, we'll have the finale, part 3, tomorrow on the TV 25 News Live at noon. It's really, you know, an inspirational story to some extent, because, you know, he's such an upbeat, fun guy to be around, and you put yourself in his shoes, it's got to be frustrating, you know, knowing that one of maybe the most special sense that we get is just fading away for him. I mean, it's sad, but then again, it's inspirational knowing how just positive and good of a person he is.
Yeah, because you could just curl up in a ball and say, I'm done.
Right, absolutely. And I don't think anybody would blame you if you did something like that, or if you weren't the nicest, you know, guy. But Neto's just a fantastic guy, fun to be around, and absolutely loves St. Mary's and the athletic programs there, and really does a fantastic job there.
Yeah, let's kind of hope that slows down for him, and it's not going to be debilitating here.
Right, and the most frustrating part, we talked a little bit about it in this part, and maybe a little more tomorrow, is you just don't know. You know, he could be blind, he could not be blind. It could stop right now and he could see like he sees now for a long time, or it could accelerate quickly, and you just don't know what to expect. Tough.
Yeah, very tough. Thanks for bringing us that story, and we look forward to the final part tomorrow.
Sounds good. St. Mary's Sports Information Director Donnie Neto has been battling from choroideremia since he was a child, but it's not something that's held him back, as we learn in our final installment of Neto's Perspective.
Once it's diagnosed, there's really nothing you can do. There is no cure for the disease.
And that's why Neto doesn't let choroideremia define who he is.
It doesn't do me any good to feel sorry for myself or to sit around and dwell on it.
Dealing with the disease is not always easy, but it's better with your best friend at your side.
Without Dee Dee, I'd be lost. She's been my rock and my best friend, and she's my eyes. There's so many times that, Donnie, did you see that? And I'm like, no, I missed it. And she would, tell me what she saw. She's made it much easier to have this disease because I've got her understanding, her patience.
I was worried what would happen if something happened to me. Who's going to help him out doing all those little things? Or when he goes away with a sports team, I always say, make sure you tell somebody if you need help going in, to the rink, or if you need help at the restaurant, because he isn't always likely to say, can you help me with this? Because of the independence lost.
Donnie's a family guy. If there's one thing that takes precedence over this place, it's his family.
Hey, buddy. Hey. Welcome back.
And I think since the disease has kind of started to progress just a little bit, it's even become more valuable to him. And Dee Dee's been awesome.
Given his deteriorating vision, you might think Neto doesn't see as much as the average person, but in actuality, he might see more. The Netos, along with Cardinal mascot Big Red, recently returned from a 4-week trip out west.
So we started this last year, and the reason being is we don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to go to these places and see these wonderful sights. We've been so many places and seen so many things, and those are things that I always want to remember. And that's the importance of those trips, is we get to do it one more time. And hopefully next year we get to do it one more time. And then maybe in 5 years we get to do it one more time.
By all accounts, Neto is a great person suffering from a very rare disease.
He's got a raw deal. He's a guy that, that loves being around people. Loves being around sports. Loves doing his job, and his, this condition is taking that from him.
When it's all said and done, choroideremia might rob Neto of his sight.
It's a little frustrating because you don't know what the future holds.
But the one thing it will not take is his life.
There's a lot worse things in this world that people get, cancer and all of the terrible diseases that are out there. I still get to live my life. I'm a little more restricted and maybe don't get to do some of the things that I love to do, but I still get to live my life.
He's not letting it become who he is as a person. He's just growing with it.
He's an inspiration, because he is still, like you said, he's positive, he's upbeat. He's the guy that always has something nice to say about every situation where it could be the total opposite.
I'm still here. I still have a smile on my face. I get to come to work every day and love what I do. So this is just a bump in the road and something that I just deal with on a daily basis. Today's my new normal.
Dave, I think Fran McDevitt really put it the best. He said, Neto's just a good guy that got a raw deal. And that's really kind of what I felt about it after talking with him for so long. I mean, he's just a really fun person to be around. And if you didn't know that he had this condition, you'd never find it out by talking with him or being around him, because he doesn't let it take over him.
Yeah, and I didn't realize he had the condition either until you were talking about doing this piece on him, and I'm like, Donnie's got an eye condition? I just unaware of it.
Yeah, and one of the more impressive parts is the fact that he does phenomenal work for St. Mary's in the athletic department. That you might think, as we talked in this 3-part series, that if your vision's going away in an industry that sight is so essential to what you do, that might drop off, but for him, not at all.
All right. Well, it was a great series. Thanks for doing that for us, Eric.
Thank you.